Day 9, our last day. At 10:22 a.m., Richard, Jeff, and I joined Frank Lott on a tour of the area for 25 minutes. We went to see Little Charlotte Lake along with Baby Charlotte Lake. Frank promised to show us the waterfalls, the highest in North America, which was over 1,000 feet high. He took us over Cowboy Lake, and we searched for grizzly bears or moose, but had no luck finding them. We found several docks along the way, and finally, we found the waterfalls, but it was slightly obscured by the clouds. But it was the highlight of our tour, so we returned back to his lodge. Later on, Daryl, Myron, and another guy flew to Nimpo Lake to get fuel, which is only 6 minutes away. Daryl gave a passenger briefing to the next flight.
If the door isn't properly secured, the bubble window will suck it open. So if it pops open in flight, nothing's going to happen. It just has to be properly closed. Okay, so if it pops open, it's just going to be a little draft. All right?
You know, my perception for landing is still too far out.
These are the life vests.
I'm all set up for landing and I'm not there yet.
Usually you don't, but if you
They're allowed to
prefer
be when they were
wear
coming down from the line when I called.
Remember when you taxi, that's it.
Yeah.
fire extinguishers under the seat here. Emergency locator transmitters and the aft baggage on the ceiling. The captain, if he sees a problem, can pull that orange or that gray switch out and flick it on, and it'll activate the ELT even before he hits the ground. So everything will work. Any questions? Seat belts are standard like a car.
Okay.
In the event that something goes wrong on landing and the plane flips over, do not undo the seat belts until you have completely oriented yourself, because what usually happens in a float plane, people are panicked to get out of the plane, they undo the seat belt, they try to swim up, they can't figure out how to open the door, they pull the door handle off, now they can't get out, and they end up being found in the tail, drowned. So it's very important, no matter how much you think you're worried, keep the seat belt on until you completely understand where you are. Once you exit the airplane, go to the top of the float, get your breaths, get oriented, count the people, and then if you think you need to go back, then do so.
Yeah, like I remember.
That a pleasurable trip.
Well, you just took the shit out of my stuff.
No, very good, Daryl. Very good.
Well, I just thought while everybody was waiting, Zimi's already got the briefing.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Like I will remember everything you said.
Yeah, open the door.
All you
before
need to
undo the
remember is
seatbelt.
open that bag if you get sick.
Yeah.
That's like Mike Christian down the lake. You know, he was 11 years old. He's a pilot now for us. And he said, I have him in my float plane. Mr. Lodi said, I want to be a pilot. I sure want to be a pilot. I said, you bark from my airplane one more time. I said, you're not going to live long enough to be a pilot.
That's all I ever did was bark in planes too. All right. Really? Everything. Everything I was ever in. Even my dad took me for a ride in the car. My uncle told my parents, that kid doesn't get near my convertible anymore. He's been in it 3 times and we've put him in every seat in the car and now they all smell like puke.
That was one of the requirements when I got my license. They take you up and see if they make you sick.
No, that's actually...
If you didn't get sick, then you could probably be a pilot. And that Spitfire pilot I went with.
Yeah.
I was that close though. Oh yeah, fine. Spins and loops. You know, my whole life I've never seen the world upside down, and all of a sudden. Okay, Ernie, we're gonna put you up in the front.
Okay.
Okay, this is
Just watch
second trip.
your knees and here. Let me just push those swaddles out of the way. I did have one time where a long-legged guy bent my throttle on me.
No, that's not too bad. Go ahead.
There,
Frank's better.
ring low.
In the plane was Frank, Ernie, and both of their wives. Frank borrowed Daryl's airplane, which was actually featured in the movie Snow Dogs, if you remember that movie from 2002. In fact, let's take a look at that movie.
Welcome to Anchorage. We got a real scorcher today, expecting a high of 3 degrees.
Flight 522, non-stop to Toganda.
George Murphy, you're clear for takeoff, so quit dawdling and move it.
The captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. You're free to move about the cabin.
And that was the same aircraft that Daryl Doherty owned right now. He converted it to floats, and there the plane was, taking off for a sightseeing tour with Frank Lott, the pilot, flying it. While those guys went to do the sightseeing tour, we packed up our plane, and then I would take a tour of the cabin.
We stayed in this place last night.
It was a log cabin type of home with antlers on the side. It was quite nice. It was decorated nicely. This morning, Frank had made us pancakes for breakfast.
This is Frank, and he owns this place. He worked for Air Canada for over 30 years.
That was true, but he first started with Canadian, which merged with Air Canada.
There's the water tank.
It looks like they're all packed up and ready to go.
Well, give me a call when you're coming.
I know, sort of.
Airplane doesn't even design what to bring it off the water. So what do you, whoa! You can take it out of steel.
Can't rock it.
No,
No, it just cuts right back in.
Help.
And off we went, continuing our way down to Fort Langley, while Daryl was going to Pitt Meadows where he parked his airplane. We got back to Fort Langley and unpacked the float plane, and that was the end of our trip. 9 days in Yellowknife. It was a pretty good trip and I enjoyed it. Everyone liked it. And best of all, we got to spend time with Myron. Thanks for watching my trip to Yellowknife and stay tuned for more travel adventures around the world.